yeah, so it's like I have a lot of cats. You know, I can just get a lot of cats, and I have a lot of cats. Like, it's not, you know, I mean, it's not like I don't like cats. I love cats. I had 3 of my own cats, and that's a lot of cats for one person to have. Of my own accord, I did. But, you know, how it sort of happens, where you know, someone's like, oh, can you take my cat? And then you're like, well, I guess, because you feel bad for it, and then you get a reputation, and then a few more people leave cats, and then before you know it, everyone knows you as that lady with the cats, and then you've got like 8 cats, and everyone's always dumping cats on you because they're like, oh, she won't say no. And it's true, but it's awful. So, you know, it's like those accidental collections, you know. My friend had one once where she got this fake leg at a secondhand store, and then people were like, that's cool, and then another friend of hers gave her another one, and then you know, and then like people started giving them to her all the time, because the more you have, the more people think that's like a thing that you are into. And not that she wasn't into it, but just she probably wouldn't have bought that many on her own. She ended up giving me a few because she was in a really small apartment, and she didn't even have anywhere to put them all. And so that was fun for her, and funny. Accidental collections, cats and legs and cats, you know. People ask me what kind of cats I like, you know, because I have so many cats, and what my favorite kind of cat is, and I really like the big ones, you know, because when you skin them to make the suit, the big cat suit, there's just a lot more to work with. But yeah, but the hard part is getting them to help you put the couch in fan, because cats aren't really naturally very helpful. And yeah, so you probably, I'm a little hot here. You probably are assuming from what I've said already, and it is true that I'm kind of a recluse. I don't leave my house a lot. But I do make a lot of films. I'm comedy films. I make other kinds of films, and you know, so about parties and party things and bars and the clubs, and people think I go out a lot because of that, but I don't really. What my friend films it all for me, and it's like, so I like vicariously live through her films of partying, and so I don't ever even actually have to leave my house or go to a party or talk to anyone in real life ever. It's like that movie. Do you guys remember that movie from like, oh, I don't even know when they made that movie. But it's called Sliver. It's got old Billy Willie Baldwin in it. You remember him. And he lives at the top of this tower, and he's really rich and fancy, and he gets in with Sharon Stone, and starts dating her, and then she finds out that actually he owns her apartment and everyone else's apartment, and he films all of them from the top of his apartment tower, and that's but so sometimes I feel like that, but in a good way, because it's comfortable for me. Whatever, I don't know. So don't worry about it. At any rate, non sequitur from that off topic, just going to a totally new topic here. Let's clear the slate. Let's just pan that out. Erase that. I've always thought about monsters' personal lives is a funny thing to me, thinking about what they do and their personal time, classic monsters like Frankenstein and I don't know if you ever read the old Bram Stoker's Dracula, but there's this part that they never put in any of the movies where Jonathan Harper's, when he's stuck in the castle with him for a long time, and he's like starts spying on him because he's like, this guy's kind of weird. And he wants to know what his deal is, and he sees through the keyhole. He's like spying on him through the keyhole, and he sees Dracula like skipping around, and he's like setting it all up for him. And he's like putting out the dinner and stuff. And he like doesn't have any servants. He cooks it all himself. He studied it all up. Like he went and he learned. He's like, I'm gonna get myself a pet human being, and he like studied about it because he forgot all. He's like, oh yeah, cooking of food, and they like to eat a food, and they like to like have a magazine, and so he like gets all the stuff and tries to set it up, but so Jonathan Harper catches him basically like doing that, and he like sees him setting it all up, and I like imagining that part of his life, like where he was doing that. Just so cute. Maybe that's not cute to you. I don't know. It's cute to me. It's like trying to imagine the devil's personal life. I don't know. You know, like maybe she just hangs out and she's like, you know, she dates some married guy, and she has normal mundane problems, you know, and she's like, hey, she comes home and she's like, hey, oh man, Bill, it's so great to see you. Oh, I'd like to talk to you about my day. I had to just like slayed so many babies, put so many people on spikes, and you're always trying to do it right, you know, the way people want it done, you know. People are never satisfied with their punishments. You work all day whipping and burning and scraping and torturing, and you know. But of course he doesn't want to listen to what she has to say because, you know, he's married and guys just don't want to listen to your day anyways. And I don't know, just those humanizing things. I like imagining that. I also have thought a lot about, like, what if, you know, like, have you ever thought about, like, what if through prayer we have actually made the devil real? You know? Like belief making a thing real. You know what I mean? Like in Peter Pan, when all the fairies are dying, when little Tinkerbell is dying, and they're like, clap if you believe in fairies, and everyone clap if you believe in the devil. But you know what I mean? Like everyone's praying so fervently to this thing, to this being, to not hurt them. And I wonder if maybe that very energy and focus and belief makes it more of a real thing. You know? I don't know. But then I wonder if maybe I'm just thinking about all of that stuff too much. Because I probably am. It's really not the sort of thing you're probably supposed to think about. At any rate, on totally another subject, I'm just going to clear the slate. Let's just clear the slate again. I'm getting weird again. Getting weird, and we just need to clean it up. Just clean it up and start over again. Something lighter, something new. Yeah. I'm a Star Trek fan. Really big Star Trek fan. And there's not very many lady Star Trek fans in the world, which is interesting. I don't really understand what that's about. But it seems to be a statistical truth. And I never considered myself a Star Trek fan for most of my life. And, you know, it was kind of like one of those things like Elton John. I remember watching interviews where he talked about not knowing that he was gay. And it's hard to believe that, but you don't really... It's hard to be introspective about yourself. He didn't realize until much later in his life that he was gay. And I had a similar experience about being a Star Trek fan. And I was in, I believe I was in the theater. I was watching, oh man, what is that one called? It's the first one with the Next Generation where Picard comes in, and there's a whole time transfer thing, and they meet the guy who makes the spaceship that that takes them to space, and then that makes the Vulcans come down to Earth, and there's this part, I can't even remember it. It was some joke where they bring in the doctor, the holographic doctor from one of the subsequent series after that, and I can't even remember. It's been so long since I've watched it, but the joke was about him, and I started laughing, and I was the only person in the whole theater, and I was like, oh man, I got the joke. I got the Star Trek joke. I got the Star Trek joke. Nobody else got that joke. And then I realized, and I had to start, living my life accordingly, and I had to become a lot more, just generally judgmental of other people, and I also had to start, just generally learning to spell better. There's so much pressure being a Star Trek fan, and I feel bad already now that I couldn't remember any of those names of those people in those movies. Like, I'm like a bad fan because I couldn't remember any of the stuff. There's so much pressure being the right kind of Star Trek fan, and how am I, I don't know. But so watching Star Trek, I watch all of them. Some people only like the new ones. Some people only like the old ones. I like all of them. I like every single one, even the one with Scott Bakula. I don't care. Whatever. You can judge me. But I really like the old ones with Spock and Kirk and Bones. Everybody always makes jokes about Spock and Kirk, but nobody ever seems to notice Bones. It's not a twosome, it's a threesome, it's a triangle, it's a tangled web of love and anger, and it's just so romantic and angry and passionate, It's like Kirk and Bones were together in college, and they were best friends, and then here comes along this new Spock guy, and Bones was like, hey, what the fuck, man? Why are you honing in on my territory? And that's the hostility, that unexplained hostility between the two of them. Everyone always chalks it up to like some sort of racial thing, but it's much more complicated than that. It's a love relationship, but they love each other too. They're all in it together. It's kind of a weird, when like Spock is like, oh, you know what, Kirk, I don't even know why you were down there with those chicks. Vaginas are illogical, and then Bones gets all mad, and he's like, oh, you stupid fucking green-blooded whore. I don't even know why you're always talking to him about that stuff. He can date whoever he wants to. He can date girls. He can date whoever he wants to. You don't get to tell the captain what's illogical. I tell the captain what's illogical. I'm the doctor, goddammit. I'm a doctor, not a doctor. I'm your best friend. I'm not nobody, goddammit. But excuse me. It's just so cute. They're so cute, and they each have their fancy plucked eyebrows done in a different way, and they're always eyebrow acting. They're special eyebrow acting. I don't have any eyebrows, so I have to do it with my fingers. But they each have their own special way, and there's like so many unspoken words just in their eyebrows, And I love that. I love all that. I love all those things about that. And I probably should have written a few more jokes but I didn't, and that's all I have to say. And so good night. Thanks very much.
Captain Party says, try not to be such a fucking baby about everything so much, okay?